Hi, and welcome to episode 85 of Talking Small Comics with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin. Thanks for joining us today. And I think we really got some cool comics for this episode. So
we got a few, that's for sure.
Yeah. You got one to start with?
I got a lot
whatever
here.
You come up with.
Tom Fellrath is out there doing all kinds of great stuff, and he has a new issue of Hologram.
Yeah, this is his ongoing. This is when he got back into small press. This was what he did. They were mini comics, and this is a collection of. Let me see on the back. It says chapters 7 through 12.
Right.
And the issue 12 is new. The rest of it has been published before.
Change happens, people.
Yeah.
Tom was out of small press for a long time, and when he came back with a bang. And we love the guy. He's doing incredible stuff. There's so much stuff I can't even.
Oh yeah, he's got numerous publications that he does. He does a YouTube show. He does all kinds of things.
He's very active in the United Fanzine organization, and he's very influential.
But if you look inside, just to give you an idea, he admits and he says that he's not an artist, but he did do some of the early holograms that are in here. That one.
This Tom's artwork
the
here.
Character is invisible, basically. You can see through the character. So you can see the background through the character there. And when you get into the book and you get, let me see, the chapter called Homefront. Homefront is the chapter where you will see a change in this, and it's because
what page is that?
Lorenz is the artist.
Well, Tony Lorenz. When Tony Lorenz pops up, you notice it.
Homefront here.
Right.
Here.
There's a definite stylistic difference.
And Tony, is excellent.
Tony's super.
I like the way he interprets the guy that you can see through. Very clever. And then the rest of it is standard, solid cartooning.
Yeah, and Tony has his own style. Tom has his own style, but Tony, I've never seen anybody with a style that compares to his. He's unique, and he has our hero who's a phantasm. He's a ghost. He just.
I can give you just a quick idea because he wrote on the back of this pretty concise what the story is. The story arc, written by Tom Fellrath and illustrated by Tony Lorenz, is basically he has been turned in I can't talk. He has been turned into a transparent man. He lost his job. He lost his wife. He might as well be a slave to the world.
Yeah, I mean, it really when you're invisible, you're semi-invisible. You're kind of a ghost floating around. You have no contact with reality. That kind of messes with your love life. And,
but he could save the world.
They deal with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, might as well. He's got nothing else to do. He might as well save the world.
There you go. But he has a power. He has some kind of like an energy beam or something that he can shoot out. I mean, he's virtually a phantasm. He walks through walls. You can't touch him. He can't touch anything. But he can shoot these energy bolts out, and he stops a giant meteor from crashing into the world.
Yeah,
and manages to save the Earth. And that makes him a superhero.
Yeah.
So we got our guy. There you go.
Counting the days.
War.
And he does count the days all the way through here. Like this is December 24th, 1991. It says 10,965 days to go.
Yeah, he goes through it day by day, year by year, and you can see, so we're waiting. Eventually, this is apparently going to catch up to the present time.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're going through his history, his life as a semi-ghost, and it's happy, it's sad. When he decides to become a hero, and he travels all over the world, what would you do if you were invisible, but you could go anywhere you wanted to?
Go anywhere you want.
He travels all over the world, and he goes to like the Great Pyramids of Giza. He goes to Romania, and it scares the heck out of everyone in the room. They're visiting Dracula's coffin.
Right in the coffin with Dracula. Very good.
Yes, he plays pranks on people, but he's just having a great time. I mean, you got to make the most of it. What can you do?
But you can get the whole, pretty much the whole story starting in chapter 7, all concise in this book.
Yeah.
So and then if you want the earlier ones, I think you just contact Tom and he'd send them to you.
Yeah. So this is chapters 7 through 12 collected.
Right. Yeah.
With artwork by Tom Fellrath, Tony Lorenz, and William Henry Cadell.
I think
great stuff.
I think William Cadell and Henry both, and Tom. I think they share the writing, don't they? I don't think
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's an artist.
Written and illustrated, written mostly by Tom Fellrath.
Yeah, mostly.
But what a story! What a story! Here he is unleashing these beams of these laser beams or whatever it is he's shooting out of himself, and he becomes kind of a hero, even though he's a ghost. But people can see him now. I think in the beginning they really couldn't see him that well, but now they can see him. At one point he's in Jerusalem, and these Israeli people are looking up, and there's a praying wall or something. I'm sorry, I'm not Jewish, So, but there.
Wailing wall.
The Wailing Wall. Maybe that's it. He comes through the wall.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yeah. So it's just
the last story. It's illustrated like it's on television or a computer, and that you're seeing the picture that they would see on. I guess it's a computer. Would you say? Yeah,
or a television.
Television or a computer,
but he was knocked unconscious. He was knocked unconscious. He has an enemy out there, and he was knocked unconscious. Someone is out to attack him, and you can see there. It says Joe Peters, the astronaut blaster, appears to be awake after 15 days, and is leaving Tri-City. Is he hurt? So you can see the the news lady discussing this. What's going on with Joe Peters, the hologram?
Yeah.
It's
not real easy to explain. Better off to get the book and read it for yourself, honestly.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it. It's, it's complex enough that it's rather hard to explain. So you got to read it.
The most tragic part is that he loses his wife.
Yeah.
Because, what can you do with a transparent hologram guy? I mean, it's kind of like, it sort of limits your love life and it limits your
I would think so.
Together and
you go to hug him and nothing there. What?
Sadly, he can see everything that's happened, and she finds a new guy. But there's so much going on here. There's so much going on here. It's really a complex story, but it's simple in terms of his emotions and what he's seeing. We see it through his eyes and what he's experiencing. Tough situation. And the story continues. It's not over yet.
Yeah, it's not over. No. Nope.
So great comic.
Scott
McClung front cover. Scott McClung.
Oh yeah, that's right. Scott McClung did the cover.
Great friend Scott McClung. He illustrated the Sunwing, my character Sunwing, several years ago.
Did he?
hopefully it'll be cool to get him back involved, because I'm planning a new issue of my zine, which is a comics issue, a comics zine, and might be a Sunwing story in there. Tom, Scott. Hi, Tom. But Scott, if you're interested in drawing, I'm interested in sending you a script.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just putting that out there,
Yeah, right.
Scott did a really great job on Sunwing when Larry Blake wasn't available at that time. Of course, Larry Blake passed away after that, but at that particular time, he wasn't available. He was in the hospital, and I went online, and I went on Facebook, and I said, "Is anybody interested in drawing a story? I have this story written," and Scott popped in, and he says, "I'll draw it." And it was a good issue. It was a good issue.
Right.
I mean, Larry Blake came back and drew the issue after that.
Yeah.
We miss Larry Blake, of course, and Scott's a great talent. So, we were talking about Tom's book. So, Tom, this one gets 2 thumbs up.
Oh, 4.
4 thumbs up from us.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's not all Tom has done.
No.
Let me see, but he's done a lot of stuff just recently. But let's move on, because I'm talking too much. I'm rambling, and I have this tendency to do that. But how about this one?
Larry
Johnson.
Dream Diary.
Dream Diary.
A collection of his dreams. I don't know how to explain it other than that. That's what it is. It's a collection.
He illustrates his dreams.
Illustrated dreams.
Yeah, we talked about. I think we talked about this before, an earlier issue. But
he's done it before.
H.P. Lovecraft was
This
the
is
model.
the 3rd issue. Yeah,
that's the 3rd issue. H.P. Lovecraft was the model for this, because he used to do this. The great Lovecraft. He used to wake up and write down his dreams. He'd write them down immediately, and later he would make a story out of it. He would relate his dreams in text, but that's what Larry does. If you have a dream, if you wake up and immediately don't write it down, you're going to forget it.
Well, yeah. So that he writes it down as soon as he wakes up. Now, he also said
writes it down.
It's written out, so he said you have to allow me to, draw the characters.
There you go.
For the comic book. In other words, they may not be exactly what he dreamed, because it's very difficult. But he has to take a little license with,
And that looks exactly like Larry right there.
Yes, it is.
That's Larry.
And this is my caricature of Larry.
That looks like him too. Larry, that looks like you, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You should send that to Larry. Larry, you should post that.
Well, if he sees this, he can comment.
Yeah. But it does look like him with the mustache. I mean, here he is.
But Larry, he draws himself all the way through the comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There he is. Yeah.
So, and the story, you can see the artwork is excellent.
Oh. And he talks about the colors. He said, some dreams are not in color. Maybe a few are. So, he just used the colors he thought would work. Very good.
Yeah. A lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah. A dream is, it's a dream. It comes at the end. It may not have an ending. It may not have a punchline. It may, it's just a dream.
That's it. It just shows what he experienced before he woke up. You're in a dream. You're waiting for the ending, for the punchline, but it doesn't happen because you wake up.
Yeah.
And so that's what Larry is illustrating here. Here he is. He was in a dream. He's driving in a cartoon car.
And it's kind of floating through the air.
Yeah, kind of floating. A lot of that happens in dreams. And this canvas falls over the top of the car.
Right over the windshield.
Yep, just happens to fall over there. Just came out of nowhere. and a cat.
Little one, he's got a living doll, he calls it.
Yeah. And you see, this one's a little more simple. Some of his illustrations are much more complex, but this one is intentionally simple because he mentions that it's a cartoon, a car for one thing, but the cat poops on his arm, and he poops on his shirt, and that's what cats do.
Yeah. Right. No, that reminds me. Just one second. 1 second.
That's the end of that particular episode. Larry, cat poop on your shirt. That's it.
I just thought of this. Speaking of cats, I hope everybody is watching Simon's Cat. Do you watch Simon's Cat? It's an animated cat. He looks like that.
I didn't know about it until just now. What is this?
It's a animated cartoon, and this is Simon's Cat here.
Uh-huh.
He can make that cat look so real, but it looks like this. But it has all the motions of a real cat, everything that a real cat does, how they turn around and step around.
Right.
And it's hilarious. I'm telling you. The cat does the funniest things you've ever seen. It's on Facebook all the time.
It's on Facebook?
You really got to look up.
Do we have a link to this?
Cat, everybody look up Simon's Cat and watch a couple of episodes because there he is. One of the things he does a lot is point to his mouth and say, he doesn't talk. He's a cat.
Who does this? Who draws Simon's Cat?
The guy's name is Simon something, but I don't remember his last name.
Simon something.
But it's Simon's Cat. You look that up. You will get a kick out of it, I tell you.
Okay, we'll have to check that out. There's something else I want to mention. I hate to get off the subject here, but you sent me a link to somebody animated one of Steve Willis's comics.
Yes.
And you sent me a link to that.
Yeah, it's a detective story.
And what was that?
It was a detective story.
Yeah,
I got it in an email from whoever did it. And it is a Steve. I was going to talk about it when we do Steve Willis's comics, but
okay. Sneak preview, folks.
Yeah, but
But I did watch it, and I did laugh.
Yeah.
Very well done. Not done by Steve Willis, done by somebody else.
Somebody else. He used Steve Willis's characters. He drew it like Steve Willis draws.
And added music to it.
Actually, the detective is kind of a ball of mess, just a kind of scribble. But
anyway. He's like an amorphous blob.
Yeah, he's a blob.
I think I read the story before, but
maybe they animated it.
Yeah. So we're
anyway,
getting ahead of ourselves.
I don't even know how to tell you to get that. I don't know what you.
Well, I mean, there's a link. There's a link to the video. If you
I forgot to write it down.
If not, I'll post it. But,
maybe I can post it in the description of this. I'll try.
Very well done. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, of ourselves, but we are still talking about Dream Diary.
Yeah. Anyway, and full size comic,
full color.
Mm-hmm. Don't know how many pages, but
well worth it. I can tell you that. I mean, it's probably 35, 40 pages long, maybe.
Yeah, it's $8, as you can see down in the corner. Yeah. $8, and I don't know how many pages, but probably at least 32.
Extremely well done. I mean, it's extremely well done, well written, well illustrated, and you got to hand it to Larry. I mean, this is what's behind his enormous creativity is this mind, and what comes out of this mind. Well, here's an idea of his dream diary. Larry has a lot of.
If you want to find out what Larry is dreaming about, get one of these.
Yeah. So we highly recommend this one. Larry always does great stuff. I understand he has a new Horseman, a comic out too. I haven't received that yet.
I hope he sends us a copy so we can get it out of here.
I think he mailed it out 6 or 7 days ago, so we haven't received it yet. But
no, I'll get mine.
That's another great one. Yeah. But we'll be keeping an eye on the mailbox.
Yeah.
So
I got Pony Express here, and if the horse is sick, I don't get any mail.
Pony Express, yeah. So where are we now? Okay, we're coming up on.
Oh, this is cool.
Luttrell.
Yeah.
Susie Steam.
Susie Steam. But here's the thing about Susie Steam here.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you have yours ready because 3D glasses.
We got the 3D glasses. There is a page in 3D.
Now, I'm not going to tell you the entire issue is in 3D, but the last page, this page here, this is in 3D, and it's very cool with 3D glasses.
I thought I lost them. It's worth. Okay, folks, if you're watching this video, it's worth it to you. Please, click like and subscribe and all that stuff. But just to see Larned and me wearing 3D glasses,
yeah, we are in 3D for part of this. We're in 3D. Actually, now you don't have 3D glasses, we do, so we can actually see you in 3D. But you can't see us.
Let me find it.
Isn't that how that works? Mm-hmm. Anyway.
I'm sorry, we tend to talk over each other when we get excited. But there's the page in 3D.
Yeah, that's the 3D page.
This is interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I look at it on my computer like that, even though I'm wearing the 3D glasses, it's not in 3D. You have to be looking at the actual artwork.
Yeah, look at
and it is 3D.
Glasses. Yeah.
And you can see that Shane is.
This is the
great
cover,
artist.
but he says, Sean says it has numerous covers. Now he sent like a little postcard, and look at that's another cover for the same.
Another cover.
Right there.
Well, this is from Vince Rodriguez. Now, Vince Rodriguez is the inker on this issue. Guy. Here's a Shane Luttrell's cover. And here's the cover inked, it's an entirely different drawing, but by Vince Rodriguez. So both of the covers are great. Both of the covers are terrific. And
says there's a limited number of variant covers. So there's other covers that also. He may send you a picture of another cover. I don't know when you buy the comic.
Ooh, but look at that! Anyway, I'd like to see that one in 3D.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Or this one. Look at that. That'd be neat if that was in 3D.
Either way.
Yeah.
So there's Shane.
Now, another thing I think I saw mentioned somewhere I think he said Susie Steam was only in Yeet, and this is the first issue by itself. I think. That
could be.
Number one.
Because I could swear I think I've read this story before. I'm pretty sure I've seen this story before. And I pulled out, and I thought this before we, the video, we started doing the video today. I pulled out a few copies of Yeet, but I couldn't find it. But it might be in there somewhere. And,
but it may be a totally new story too.
I think I've read this particular story.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is if you like action in your comics, this has got action everywhere.
Look at that center spread. Good gosh.
Yeah. This is one big fight.
Big fight. Susie Stream goes up against a guy called what's he called? Mecha Misha. His name is Misha. Yeah, and he was helping out in the laboratory.
Yes, this is where this begins here. And if you see where my finger is down here, right where he's holding that piece of equipment in the lower right-hand corner here. You
Yeah.
have to be very careful with that. That's what they're saying. You can't be throwing that thing around or anything
Yeah.
because it's very, very important. In fact,
It's an egg. It's kind of like what's in Iron Man's chest. It's something
Yeah.
that gives him immense power.
yeah, you can see here it's in the suit that he's wearing here,
Yeah.
and it's very powerful.
Yeah.
But the bad guy here, and I don't remember his name, he's trying to take it away.
Well, this is the bad guy because it's Mecha Misha.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
the bad
finds himself 2 weeks after this
And
laboratory.
the guy in blue is the good guy. Yeah, I'm sorry.
The laboratory occurrence where he steals the egg
Yeah,
for himself, and it affects his mind apparently. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, he's off in this ring with all these people cheering for him and fighting
Yeah.
against some other guy.
it takes place in a ring. Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's doing pretty well until Susie Steam, having gotten wind of all this,
Yeah, there she is, though.
He
Coming
shows
into the
up
ring.
in a
She's
purple
coming into the
suit,
ring right there.
and he calls her. What does he call her? Curvy robot girl.
Yeah.
He calls her curvy robot girl.
Yeah.
So there she is, no doubt curvy, but very powerful. Not quite as powerful as him, but because of the suit, because of the egg in the suit. But she is better trained for combat.
Mhm.
So they have a big fight.
Yeah,
Big
look at her
fight.
grabbing the egg there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's grabbing the egg,
Yeah.
and there they go. They're having this fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really
Excellent.
a heck of a fight.
These fight scenes.
Look at this great artwork. Oh my gosh. And that's Shane, and he's inked by Vince Rodriguez, and the combination of these two terrific
cool.
artists is unbeatable. I mean,
Really
really outstanding work there. Shane.
Yeah, I don't want to show you the end of that, but anyway.
Yeah. And there's a guy in it who looks like
Pin-ups in here.
there's a guy who looks like Jonah Jameson also in here. There's so much, yeah. See, Larned showing another page there.
These are pin-ups, yeah.
Every page is outstanding. I mean,
Vince Rodriguez, though. It's still Vince Rodriguez here.
that's Vince on the right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a terrific artist in his own right, and when he's inking Shane's work between the two, you get the best of both worlds. Really fine stuff.
This one says Joshua Holly, I believe.
Oh yeah, I saw that too, Joshua Holly.
Yeah.
So, and full color. I mean, the whole book is outstanding. How much is it? $8? It's $8. It's
$8. Here's Mike Cody doing a pinup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Beautiful. Cosmic stuff. Terrific artwork.
Yep.
Mike Cody.
And the great 3D.
And that 3D page is in there too.
Yeah.
Plus, you got that great center spread. And everything's in full color. Highly recommend this one. Highly recommend this. I mean,
Yeah.
10 of 10.
Yeah. Cover variant.
10 of 10. 9.5 of 10. But Shane, really, it's a 10 of 10. I'm just saying that to be fair to everybody else. But so yeah, order this one. You will not be disappointed, my friends.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's great. Susie Steen, you bet.
Okay.
Now we're closing in on SW, the great SW, Steve Willis.
Music on the Mountain, Songs on the Sea.
Music on the Mountain, Songs on the Sea.
Songs on the Sea. Another jam comic with Steve Willis.
Steve Willis is he's taking time off from doing Cranial Frenzy.
Frenzy's on hold.
Doing jams, including Larned's been involved with his jam comic, has done some work with him. And I got one that I need to get back to working on. Sorry, Steve, I'll get it to you shortly. I got Tetragrammaton Fragment, the UFO newsletter. I just published Mandrill, so I need a few more days, but I'll get it to you shortly. But I'm working on one with Steve Willis as well. But he does everybody wants to work with him because he's so darn talented and such a genius at comedy and everything he does, the artwork. Okay, so I'm talking too much. Larn, I can tell Larn is sitting there going, "Yeah, Steve."
No, what I was doing was, for some reason, Steve writes the credits in here so small, you can see it in here, that I need my glasses to read them.
And you had that cataract surgery too, so
the first one here, Melvin Claus, is
started by Steve Willis.
Yeah.
Let's see what it says. It says, and with Bubblegum
Data Corp. I don't know. That's I'm not sure what that is, but it's in England.
It's in the United Kingdom. Yeah. So the first few days, we're talking about a relative of Santa Claus. It's Melvin Claus.
Melvin Claus. Yeah.
Melvin Claus, kind of a black sheep to the Claus family. But he shows up. He shows up on your birthday and the night before your birthday, and leaves some sort of weird present. Not quite like Santa. I think he leaves one guy. Where is it? It's over here. He leaves one guy a glove. He leaves a glove to one person. Oh, I skipped a page, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. He leaves a glove to one person. It's it kind of makes up. I mean, the gift is a glove, and it makes up for the fact that Melvin Claus busted through their window, so their window is busted, broken, but you got a glove.
Okay. Well, see, this is what happens when Steve starts out the jam.
Yeah.
Somebody gets a hold of it, and you don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah. And
they get a hold of it, and it can change completely.
Yep.
But kind of retro art style there. You notice the guy in the bottom, like an old-fashioned ad kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks like a 1930s artwork.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know what this is in the bottom panel. I have to read.
I don't know what that is either. Somebody.
And of course, it wouldn't be a Steve Willis zine without Sebastian Cabot somewhere in the zine.
There is no escape from Sebastian Cabot.
Nope, definitely not.
He's going to be in there
move the
somewhere
over a little bit.
And here, Steve starts out this jam right here. He's eating a head from a spoon, which a lot of us like to do.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a cranium.
Yes, it's a cranium. And then it switches to the artist that's helping out here, which I can't read again because it's very small print back in the beginning.
Let me look at the front again.
You look while I show this.
Adam Whittier. Whittier.
So that's Adam Whittier continuing the jam.
So what happens? And it took me a little while to catch this, but this guy's getting ready to eat a cranium. Well, he's getting ready to eat a cranium. All the little craniums, little faces inside the cereal, like
craniums.
Like what? Sugar pops or whatever they call these days. But there's a surprise in this box, and the cranium asks him to spare him. He says, "If you spare me, I'll give you a surprise." And so he's like, "Okay." So what he actually does is he changes places with the cranium. So now the cranium is the big guy, and the little guy is the guy from page 1, and he's getting ready to devour him. Holy cow! It's like your head is in the spoon, and like So
and this page here is back to Steve Willis again.
Sebastian Cabot right there.
Sebastian Cabot.
With a black hat and a black coat. That's Sebastian Cabot. He was French. We all loved him. many years ago. And I really want to reveal the. Okay, since you just did it, you just spoiled it, so that's okay. I'll spoil it. This is where they end up. They end up in bed with a giant parrot, Sebastian Cabot, the little cranium guy, and at the bottom is Morty the dog. I mean, that one page is worth the entire issue. Of course, there's no price because Steve doesn't charge anything for his comics, but you have to send him something. Send him one of your books, or send him a couple of bucks or whatever. But I'm sure he'll reimburse you. But you need to read this if you want a big laugh. You're going to get it. That final panel is just unbelievable.
I guess here. Realty, I think. Realty, reality. Reality.
Realty, reality.
Okay, realty, reality.
We got here Chuck Spits on You. That's his name, Chuck Spits on You. That's his psychic life coach, spiritual master, and Uncle Chuck to his devoted victims is sweating more than usual. What's going on here? He's got some sort of a scam. He needs to go to somewhere obscure. Well, you can see here that the artist changes.
Yeah, right here.
That's not Steve Willis.
No.
That's some guy with a grasp of zany cartooning with this guy's nose apparently hovering over these boxes. And who is this? That's page 12. Let me see what we got. That would be Jack Latimer.
Okay.
Jack Latimer. So he's doing things. You can see
these can get real crazy.
Yeah, because you have heads, just heads. He's waiting for the mail, and these 3 heads are flying through the air, bringing the mail to him. So not Steve Willis, but Steve Willis influenced, no doubt about it. And this guy has a messiah complex. He says, God has chosen me to be your property shepherd. Well, God reaches down and pulls him up and drops him back off. And what does he say here? Okay, there's a little head that says, you were saying. Anyway, that was an encounter with God. Influenced by Steve Willis, but drawn by someone else.
Here is Sputch Comics.
Sputch.
By E. Sputch. And the first panel says, my name is Edith Sputch. And this is my story.
And this looks like Steve here. There are things in my life I've never done. I wish I had done before. I'd moved to a place with lots of sun, with an alligator and a boar. We'd dance all night while the bright swamp sprite played tunes that we could not ignore. And you're showing the same page.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And the story ends, or the issue ends. The back cover and the inside back cover is artwork by Steve himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
craziness. But we got more craziness because Steve's
Steve's got a little crazy left.
Yeah, he got plenty of crazy left, I'm sure. Collisions of visions across divisions.
Yeah. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Collisions of visions across the divisions. And you see this guy with this pizza-looking head here, like he's a little slice of pizza.
You can see the word divisions is divided into 2 visions.
That's a good. That's pretty cool thing. I mean, you notice, for effect, it's an effective comedy device. I got in this one. I got a Morty Comics number 10,754 shows these guys on a lineup, and you see the little guy, the second one from the left. These guys are all tall,
except one guy.
The one guy, a little short guy, and This just is one of the things he includes. You won't get this because this is an original intended for one person, and I got that one.
I got this one that says, "The incredible and heartwarming journey of a slug, cockroach, and a happy puppy."
There it is, right there. It's a story itself.
This is the original, so you can't get it.
Yeah.
But I do have one more for you.
Yeah.
He's a good rat, but he's an all right Joe.
Steve, you're killing us.
He's a good rat.
I'm going to die laughing from this stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that is happens to be number 10,672.
Good gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's kept track. For over 10,000, he's kept track of all these numbers in every illustration, and he hasn't lost count.
No.
Okay, so we got the story here.
Yeah.
The reality of tupality in the cranial locality.
There you go.
He starts the issue. Here's a guy, and he draws a picture of a cranium head. Steve calls them craniums, and we recognize them.
I do have a question. What is tupality?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Look it up. Let's see. I just
happen
to be on the internet.
Yeah.
I just happen to be on the internet. Let's see what we can find.
This is very important.
Tupality. T-U-L.
Tupality.
Tupality.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I'm just waiting. Tupality.
Yeah.
Tulpa. What is this? A tulpa is a materialized being or thought form, typically in human form, that is created through spiritual practice and intense concentration. Okay, but I don't see the word tupality. But I guess that's what it's referring to, a materialized being or thought form that is created through spiritual practice and intense. So it's something made up.
What he's drawing there. It looks to me very much like a cranium guy. But
yeah, the cranium guy. But he draws it. As soon as he draws it, it pops up. It pops up off the board. He has to draw another one.
Page to the air, and floats away.
He keeps drawing these. He keeps drawing these, and they keep popping up off the drawing board. So he has to keep drawing them. He's trying to get one to stay on the drawing board. And he's not too happy about it. You can see that right there.
You got a net trying to catch him.
Yeah. I don't know if that was who drew that page. I think it's a different artist.
It is,
page 3. That would be Billy McKay.
I know Billy McKay. You know Billy McKay. Don't you? Oh, don't you know Billy McKay? He does all kinds of comics, covers, everything.
I may know him, but I can't remember him right now. Sorry, Billy.
But that's what he let. That's what his
art on my mind, man. I get a lot on my mind. But
is one of the top small press
great
guys.
Stuff. Yeah, so these craniums escape and eventually become combined into one big, giant cranium, thanks to Billy.
Mm-hmm.
And
remember when everybody used to have a Larry Blake cover? Well, they also used to have a Billy McKay cover. Yeah.
Is that right? Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Billy. I'm old, man. I can't remember everything. There's been so many people in small press. I don't even know who this guy is I'm talking to. I think his name was Learned or something like that. But hi, Larned. Now that is interesting. That's also very interesting. What you're getting into there. Deer hits fenced dog. Now that is unique, and Billy's stuff is great too. Seriously, I do want to show that last panel because there you go, and you see Steve Willis there, and Morty. So I want to bring that up, but then all of a sudden we got a surprise. Deer hits fenced dog, something totally different.
Boy.
Blair Joseph Wilson is the collaborator, and this is different.
Yeah. Very.
So all of
This is where you.
very stylistic.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to it. Look at this. Look at this double-page spread here.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is Steve Willis or how much of this is the other.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's the guest artist.
Yeah, I would think so. There's Morty.
Yeah.
So, and that could be Steve there, but a lot of
Could be, or
collaboration.
it could be the guy drawing Morty. I don't know.
That's totally unique. Even
Yeah.
among Steve Willis's comics, this is something unique.
And
All right, and then we get back to the guy with the pizza head. Let me see. That's on page.
guy. Is there a
Page
name?
11.
We all hated.
Oh, it's Ed Bowman.
Huh?
Edward Bowman. Also,
Oh, Ed Bowman.
Bowman.
Yeah.
Plus Dale Lee Coover. Dale Coover. And,
Well, Dale Coover was Andy Nukes. You know Andy Nukes?
My camera.
Dale Coover drew Andy Nukes.
That Andrew Nukes. That explains
Andy.
the pictures.
Andy Nukes.
My camera popped out for a second.
You're
Okay, I'm
froze.
sorry.
You are froze.
Yeah, now
But
you're
this is Andy
froze.
Nukes. This is what Andy Nukes would always draw right here.
Right, that's him, Andy.
Yeah,
Nukes.
and that's
I didn't know
Dale
his real
Coover.
name.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's fascinating. Along
Yeah.
with his other artwork.
Haven't seen some of that stuff for a long time. Very cool.
Yeah. So there he is. I guess he's
Mhm.
back, and
Yeah.
it looks like I don't know, maybe Larned or someone else re-illustrated what Andy Nukes did. Somebody else
No, it
illustrated
was not me. No, I didn't. I wasn't in this.
Wasn't you? To make it a little less bizarre. And then the guy with the pizza head, he's got his head back on right. It was upside down for a little while. I don't know what but that's on an earlier page. And
Well,
wow.
I'm looking now. Eye of the Tesseract. There's another word I don't know, along with a lot of other ones.
What is that
But-
word? I've heard that because it was in a science fiction movie or something.
Tesseract.
Tesseract. I guess
Eye of
if
the
it's, I've heard it before,
bird?
but if we're hearing it again, let me see.
Is that a bird by any chance? There's a bird.
Tesseract. Remember, I'm online.
Okay.
A tesseract can refer to several things: a four-dimensional hypercube in geometry, an open source optical character recognition engine, a British progressive metal band, or the cube-shaped containment vessel for the Space Stone in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. So the Tesseract, we heard it.
I take the English rock group.
Yeah. But I think we got it from, we heard it before in the Marvel movies, Avengers, Infinity War, and all that stuff. That's where we heard it.
Never see a
Four-dimensional hypercube in geometry. Okay. Well, we're learning stuff.
We're learning as we
We're
go.
learning from Steve Willis. Steve Willis is teaching us some really out there bizarre stuff. Okay, and
This
the
I
issue.
should figure out. Chat with a cat.
Chat with a cat.
Yeah.
It looks like this guy says, "Which side of my mouth is better for my evil laugh?" So he starts with this one, which is starts with an M, but then we go to the back cover, and he has the other one on the other
Goes
side.
the other way.
Wahahaha. So it's either wahaha or it's
Yeah.
wahaha.
Or moohahaha in the bottom, which is the best. That's the best.
There you go.
Moohahaha.
That's what we end up with. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the story's about, but
I don't know. You got to get one of these. Can't buy it, but you got to get one. You got to trade Steve for something to get this.
Once again, Steve
Yes.
Willis has done it.
Crazy comics.
He topped the show. We always save him for the end because he's always funny as heck. So that's what happened. Those are the zines we've received this time around, folks.
Yeah,
and a lot of great ones. Several zines, but they're all terrific, and I totally enjoy.
Now, you know what you got to do if you like your comic on here? You send Steve one and me one, and subscribe so that you know when your comic is coming up, because we never know when we're going to do a show. So you have to subscribe and hit the bell notification. Yeah. That will tell you when we're coming on.
Yeah. Once we receive enough zines to do a show, we'll do a show.
Yeah, that's the key.
And
we don't know how else to do it, so that's how we've been doing it. So
yeah. We like to do one every week. Doesn't always work out that way. Life gets in the way. Now, I've been working a lot, and but now they're starting to cut my hours, which means I'm going to have more free time. I'm going to have less money, but I'm going to have more free time. So we might be able to do shows more often. We'd also like to do some interviews.
Depending on the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can do interviews too. We'd like to do interviews. Yeah. Haven't done an interview for a little while. We may think about that.
Yeah. If you guys have an idea, a recommendation, you would like someone for us to interview, someone who's been influential in small press.
You'd like to see and hear, yeah, we will contact them and threaten them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you do this or else. You know,
yeah.
At your own peril if you refuse. No doubt about it. So, all right.
All right, we're going to wrap this one up. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll get it posted as soon as I can. It does take a while to post these. I don't know why it's so slow, but it's very slow. I'll get it done. And we will see you next time.
Adios.